Well, hey there and hello and welcome to the bathroom of the dollhouse where all the big thinking gets done, where all the heavy lifting is done also. For another reading from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and Just Elfers for September 11th, the day of dramatic choice. That's right, the day of dramatic choice. And here at the top of the page, we have us, a visual representational image, if you like, for the day of dramatic choice. And it is an interlocked crown of thorns and what looks to be a brass ring, or it could be a golden halo. Who's to say what it is or what it represents? Sometimes these things don't make a whole lot of sense, but maybe we'll find some kind of correlation down the line there. That's not important. What's important is it's September 11th today, and so with that comes some birthdays. That's right. Is it your birthday today and it's September 11th? Well, if it is, I just want to extend you a heartfelt happy birthday. And if this video finds you long or shortly after the day has already come and gone, well, I hope you had a happy birthday. You had other things to do than search for your birthday. That's right. So I hope it went well for you. For everyone else who's joining us randomly, or more ideally, to celebrate the September 11th birthday, I just want to say hello, welcome, and I hope you enjoy yourself. All right, now before we dive in with the birthday reading direct, real quick, let's roll some dice. That's right, this is the DykASSt A Birthday Cast, so we need to live up to the namesake, and we'll do that by rolling some dice. And more importantly, we do it for synchronicity's sake. That's right, we rolled us a 3 and a 2 for a 5. That's right, 3 and a 2 for a 5. Now, what is synchronicity, you may be wondering? Well, it's just you getting out into the world and let the universe show you it's with you on your path. And you do that by looking for your numbers, and when you spy them, chase after them with some vigor and zeal. That's right. You don't have to go by my numbers, the 2 and 3, 4, 5, but the intention's there. So, but if you want to get you your own dice, go out and do it. And what you do is you get out there, you look for your numbers. Maybe it happens to be on some kind of train, the number 5 train. So you get on the number 5 train, you buy your ticket. It's your birthday. You got to do something special, right? And you ride it. Now, when do I get off? Who's to say? You got to look for your signs, and maybe they're just going by too fast through that window there. But hey, here comes somebody with a football jersey on and the number 3 on there, maybe. You know what? He's getting off on the next stop. Hey, maybe that's the perfect opportunity for you to get off as well. That's right. It could be something simple as that, all right? So you gotta use your intuition, get after it, but take your reservations out of it. This is your day to be fun and fancy free. That's right. So you get off the train with old gentleman, but what's this? A number 32 person is getting on the other side to go back to town. You know what? I would use that myself because, you know what? I don't want to get too far away from where I live, right? So I'm going to get on and go the other way. Maybe that's what the universe is trying to get you to do, to go back. And you know what? Who's to say? But you know what? It might just be that you get off the train when you get back and you find yourself on 3rd Street and you go into some shop that's right there. Number 32 or 23 in the address there. You go in and what is it? Well, it's just an old antiquities store. And what do you find? A crown of thorns there, sitting on top of a crown of thorns store. It could be something as simple as that. I don't know, this is all sounding pretty ridiculous, I know at this point, but that's the idea. You go in there and you look around. Maybe the person's like, hey, what are you looking here for? And you're like, I'm just here on a synchronicity walk. You just lay it out for them. And what's that? Show them this video. Tell them it's your birthday. And you know, who's to say they might just go with you. They might close up shop because there ain't going to be no crowns of thorns sold today. That's right. And they join you on your synchronicity walk, and you just made a friend. It can be something small and simple like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be grandiose things the universe is showing you. It's just showing you it's there with you on your path. It doesn't have to be more or any less than that. And you just made a friend, and you got your steps in on your birthday. So yeah, that's all right there. Okay, hey, let's get into your birthday proper, because I'm mucking up the synchronicity relation. But I think you get the point. All right, your month is September. Your day is the 11th. Your sign is 17 to 19 degrees Virgo. Of the period Virgo 3 specifically. That's right, the first day of the Virgo 3. And your quality and elements is mutable earth. All right, September 11th, the day of dramatic choice. The lives of September 11 people usually pivot around certain vital and dramatic decisions which they are forced to make. And these decisions may be thrust on them when they are still quite young, perhaps before their 16th year. Later, when their career or private life seems to be going smoothly, when they are well established on their path, they will be met with repeated, often unexpected crossroads. Within a society's limits on freedom, the power to effect choice may be an individual's greatest right. And this fact is not at all lost on September 11 people who know how to wield great power through the choices they make. There is no denying that people born on this day enjoy shocking others. They pride themselves on daring to risk and also enjoy recounting their exploits later. Everything that is boring, middle class, and mundane is rejected by them in thought and deed. Yet at the same time, they have tremendous need for the kind of stability that can only be found in a warm, loving family situation. Consequently, there is a conflict between what they like to think they are, highly unconventional, and what they all too often may be, highly conventional. In this last respect, September 11 people can be extremely moral and judgmental. Paradoxically, they can espouse free love on the one hand and absolute fidelity to a partner on the other, seeing no real contradiction between the two. Also, they may delight in showing off their physical attributes in public while remaining quite prudish in other respects. And sexual emancipation is an important theme in their lives. Politically, those born in this day are likely to believe in the emancipation not only of women and minority groups, but of all oppressed peoples. They despise any sort of condescending attitude on the part of power holders or politicians toward the masses, and resent all false displays of caring and emotion. Above all, they hate snobbery. For them, human feelings are sacred and should never be toyed with or exploited. Yet they themselves can be quite adept at influencing others emotionally and can be accused of being manipulative in this respect. But certainly they know how to get their own way by whatever means, and usually they use their sharp wits to present their case, a literal, logical, and straightforward fashion which can become their trademark. Excellent managers and organizational talents, they are able to make it abundantly clear what is required of their subordinates or co-workers with few words. And those born in this day have a great love of children, which accompanies their need for family support, and can make excellent parents. And they must, however, avoid inconsistency, being at times too critical and severe in their judgments, and at other times too permissive and lax. They are at their worst when they allow themselves to be careless with the feelings of others, and above all, they must try to get a grip on moodiness. Well, all right, hey, quite the birthday breakdown. Lots of twists and surprises there. All right, hey, what I have to say about your birthday breakdown. I'm going to do a little commentary here on the read. So a life that changes course around certain vital and important decisions that you're forced to act upon, all right? Maybe even in your adolescence, and perhaps even some kind of crossroads later down the line when your life has reached some kind of a status quo, perhaps. Well, the weight associated with such choices isn't lost on you either, apparently, nor is the power that ultimately comes with them. All right, and I like that the reading also conveys you have a desire to be shocking and buck any semblance of a mundane existence, which I'd say in and of itself is a dramatic choice, considering security in any respect is usually highly sought after. Yet family being one form in which you don't necessarily compromise, all right? So a theme of contradictions for the day. Let's see, it seems to rise to the surface when one looks deeper It's a theme of contradictions. Thus seems to rise to the surface. When one looks deeper, it would appear that you feel one way, yet act another, or at least pick and choose to what extent you abide by your edicts, all right, if you like, in a stance that some may find hypocritical, but that you have no qualms with, all right? Which that tends to be a hypocritical thing, right? You're like, I'm cool with it. Well, maybe not. Some people realize they're being hypocritical and they can be down on themselves. So I don't know. It didn't really say with you, so who's to say? But maybe you don't take too much issue with that. But hey, everything is dictated by a matter of degrees, right? What else I have to say? That said, the reading relates that you know how to get your way, and you despise phonies, respect humanity, and tend to have a sharp wit, and are adept at influencing others. I just say this wishy-washy characteristic might be something to remember you for. So try to maintain some semblance of consistency, because I think that would help with any kind of negative connotations that go with that. Because some folks, they don't like wishy-washy folks, and if you do too much contradictory stuff, people are going to start to associate you with that. And you don't want that necessarily. Maybe a little bit, you're fine. They don't really notice. But if you do too much, they're going to hold you to that. And they might lose a little faith. Who's to say? I don't know. But I'm assuming it even applies, right? Who's to say? This is all this astrology stuff. Doesn't always apply. Anyway, hey, that's what I had to say about your birthday breakdown. Let's move on to your numbers and your planets. That's right. Those born on the 11th of the month, rather, are ruled by the number 2, as 1 + 1 = 2, and by the moon. And since those ruled by the number 2 often make good co-workers and partners, getting a little myopic here, rather than leaders, apparently, this complements the orderly and conventional side of September 11 mentioned earlier. Imaginative and witty qualities are further enhanced in September 11th people by the influence of the moon and of Mercury, which rules Virgo. And the former may also convey strongly reflective and passive tendencies. The number 11 lends a feeling for the physical plane, reinforcing the mental concentration and earthiness of Virgo. All right, what do I have to say about your numbers and your planets? Let's turn the page here, find out. 2 in the moon for a passive, partner-oriented rulership, which seems a little contrary to the breakdown from the point of view that you make those dramatic choices. See, I would kind of be like, oh, there's a glorified leader if ever I saw one. But your rulership doesn't really say that. So maybe choosing not to lead is a dramatic choice, all right? Because who wants the responsibility of leadership anyway? I don't know. There's probably some people, but you know what? Let them have it, right? I actually find it interesting to consider, because maybe you are in a leadership role, but what if you would just absolutely flourish if you threw that away and stood outside it? Let somebody else handle it. Maybe you would find that you were just much better suited to take orders and then be done with it at the end of the day. Whereas those other folks, they have to take it home with them, don't they? That's right. Who's to say? I know a lot of times I read this one, I'm like, no one's going to want to hear that they're passive and partner or coworker oriented. That's just me in my own mind. Maybe some folks do like that. And maybe it is beneficial. Any event. If you are in a leadership position and you don't necessarily want to abandon that position, because of the money that comes with it, perhaps you can try this little experiment of seeing if you flourish more in a what do you call it? Not a leadership role, a passive co-worker oriented role, by joining an adult kickball team or the like, all right? Where you weren't the captain, all right? Make sure you're not the captain. There's 0 real-world ramifications and nothing like a good adult kickball game to enforce your speedy mercurial rulership on the physical plane. Am I right? And it gets you out there and it gets your steps in. That's right. Just find you something to do where you can test that out. That's my suggestion. And who's saying nobody who's an adult usually plays adult kickball either. So, you know what? Could be something interesting. I don't know any of that. And let's move on to your tarot. One of the more eclectic of the metaphysical New Age ideologies, but it's in the book. That's something that expands our thought process and horizon, even if we don't necessarily believe it. So let's see what it has to say. Nothing wrong with that. The 11th card of the major arcana is Justice. A serene-seated woman holding the scales in one hand and a sword in another. She reminds us of the order of the universe and that balance and harmony will be maintained in our lives as long as we continue on our path. You're getting a lot of that. Continue on your path stuff today. The positive aspects of this card are integrity, fairness, honesty, and discipline. And the negative aspects are low initiative, impersonality, fear of innovation, and grievances. Ooh, a lot of negatives there. Let's see what I'd say about your tarot here. Justice, the seated woman holding a sword and a scale for that universal balance and harmony, provided you stay on your own path, all right? Ostensibly the one you took at the crossroads. That's right. The one that you had to take later on in life when everything seemed to be going just right. You know, the old crossroads, maybe to be the captain or the passive player on the adult kickball team. Who's to say? Positives include integrity, fairness, honesty. Negatives, low initiative, and impersonality. And I feel as though they made a case for the positives, standing up for fairness. But what are the negatives? Yeah, the so-called flightiness, flip-floppy thing? I don't know. Is that what impersonality is? Who's to say? But maybe that's another disconnect there in the reading, because I thought the leadership thing was a disconnect. Who's to say? I keep liking to say that today here, but let's move on to your health. Maybe we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll figure out a little bit something more. Who's to say? All right, here's your health. September 11th people are particularly prone to difficulties with eating and digestion. And some born in this day devote a great deal of time trying to figure out what is the best diet to avoid stomach and intestinal difficulties. Finicky eaters, it says, that can nonetheless gorge themselves on foods they like. In this regard, they must take particular care with sugar and alcohol. Psychologically, September 11th people have a tremendous need to nurture and expressions of love of all kinds, often toward a pet and other family or friendly animals, rather. Though they could be family animals, right? Will be of great importance to their mental well-being. Exercise may not come naturally to September 11th people, but they must remind themselves of its importance for their health. And gravitating towards a more sedentary lifestyle may prove debilitating. Oh, looks like I wasn't far off with the kickball suggestion, was I? All right. Difficulties with eating and digestion, and drilling down on a diet, it would seem. Again, some back and forth contradiction there. Mind you, the sweets in the drink. Don't be gorging, don't be starving yourself. No flip-flop there. As to pets for psychological welfare, that's a first that they've written that by my memory. So maybe take note. And apparently exercise is important, but we already got that figured, right? You're a Hot 100 adult contemporary kickball team. That's right. Get out there, play some passive kick, all right? And take home the medallion or whatever they award for that. When you win regionals, that's right. Get out there. There's your health. Okay, let's dive in with some advice. Okay. Don't take yourself and your beliefs so seriously. Be more forgiving and try to understand what makes others act the way they do. All right? Being secretive may not be necessary, and develop your natural talents. And finally, dare to fail. All right, hey, what do I have to say about your advice? I don't think I had room on the page in the notes, so I had to write it in the book. Oh, you're not supposed to do that, but hey, I bought this book. It's mine. I do what I want. That's right. It's a contradiction for you. So you September 11 people might appreciate that. Bucking the traditions there. All right. Make dramatic choice to fail. Yeah, all right. But don't be secretive about it, maybe. Or take yourself so serious, all right? And getting to know what makes others act and the way they do might just provide the kind of insight needed to learn the same about yourself. That's right. If we know how others are acting and we're kind of taking ourselves out of our comfort zone or putting ourselves into our introspection hat on to figure out what makes others tick, we may just find out what makes us tick too. If and we're looking at the mirror there. That's right. You got to look in the mirror. Do some mindfulness exercises there. All right. I know I just repeated a lot of what the advice said, but I think we drilled down on something else too, didn't we? Yeah, something they didn't say. So that's good. All right, hey, let's get in to your meditation. That's right. Let's take the energy down just a hair. Your meditation. Laugh till it hurts. Cry till you laugh. One more time. Laugh till it hurts. Cry till you laugh. All right, hey, I'm not going to break it down for you. That's your birthday. It's your meditation. I'm just going to muck up the meaning for you. That's right. I got to do my own self-reflection, if you like, there on your meditation. All right, hey, let's dive in with your strengths and your weaknesses. Ooh, what do we got here? Your strengths, you're free-spirited. You knew that. Nurturing and dramatic. That's right. We got the theme in. And your weaknesses. You ready? Hold your breath. All right. Easily bored. Ooh. Manipulative and judgmental. Oh, that's why they put that in there, not to be worrying about others there. The judgmental aspect there. All right, hey, let's move on to those born on this day. It seems like I'm out of sorts today. Just a little bit low on the energy. Let's try to pick it back up with those born on this day. And at this point, I like to take the opportunity to examine a little something that I think a lot of us struggle with, and that's finding our passion. That's right. I go out in the world, meet folks, ask them what they do, and more importantly, if they like it, and more often than not, they don't. And why is that? Well, I think it's a really easy answer there. We don't have the time to put in the work to figure out what our passion is. It doesn't just hit you like a lightning bolt in most occasions. It's something hard to figure out. And this world doesn't really promote as much. And why is that? Because you got to get out of college, pay off those loans with a secure job. And so you only have the weekends to really figure it out. And who wants to work on the weekends for yourself outside of doing the chores and washing the bed sheets and all that stuff? So we haven't had the time to put in the work. And so I think we can take this opportunity to not only find out who shares your company for your birthday, but see what put them in the book, got them on the map, what served for their passion. And even if it wasn't their passion, where they took their lives. Because maybe if you have this same pitfall where you can't figure out your passion, you can take some inspiration from the folks who share your birthday. That's right. I think that's what I'm trying to get at here. So let's dive into those born on this day. See if we can derive some inspiration if you find yourself in a similar pitfall there. No passion. All right, you get it. D.H. Lawrence, the British poet, novelist of Sons and Lovers, and the controversial Lady Chatterley's lover, aroused a storm of protest and was banned. That's right. How's that for controversial there? O. Henry, a short story writer. Real quick. We have Louis Joliet, a French-Canadian Great Lakes explorer, a priest, geographer, and a fur trader. All right. Get out there and trade you some furs. Yeah. We have Jessica Mitford, who was a British social protest writer and wrote A Kind and Unusual of Punishments. We also have Lola Falana, who was a singer-dancer and a Las Vegas showgirl. We also have Brian De Palma, the film director of Scarface and The Untouchables. We have Pierre de Ronsard, was a French Renaissance poet and Pleiade leader. Ferdinand Marcos, the Philippine dictator, ousted and died in exile. We have Tom Landry, who was a Dallas football coach for 29 years and 2 Super Bowl wins to his credit. We have Paul Bear Bryant, who was a college football coach, a 38-year career and 15 bowl wins. And he took Alabama to 5 national titles. We have Franz Beckenbauer, who was a German soccer player and a world champion coach. We have, you know what? A lot of kickballs in there. It looks like I wasn't too far off, right? Arvo Part was an Estonian composer. Herbert Lom, Czech British stage film actor. Leo Kottke, improvisational guitarist. Darlington Hoops, U.S. social party leader. Socialist Party leader, rather. Edward Hanslick was a Czech Austrian 19th century music critic. We also have Robert L. Crippen. He must have been a good music critic if he got noticed. Doesn't seem like something people would throw fame behind. Robert L. Crippen, U.S. astronaut. We have Ava Adams, U.S. Mint director. Minerva Behave, B-H-A-V-E, probably saying that wrong. Indian social reformer and assumed Gandhi's mantle. We also have, finally, Christy McNichol, the film actress. All right, there was a couple names in there I recognized. Not many, though. I think that about rounds out your birthday read, bringing the energy up, finally. All right. Except to say your season is summer. Your sign, once again, is Virgo, of the Virgo III period specifically. And your quality and element, once again, is mutable earth. And this has been September 11th, the day of dramatic choice, from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and Joost Elfers. I have an affiliate link for this book down in the description if you're interested in picking up a copy and diving in further for yourself. It makes a great coffee table book, especially if you have company over and have difficulty getting the ice broken. This is going to do so in a figurative or even a literal way if you got an issue with blocks of ice there. It's going to get the conversation started for better or for worse. In any event, hey, once again, I just want to wish you a happy birthday. And for everyone else who joined us to celebrate September 11th birthday, hey, I want to say thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed yourself. And I hope to see you on your birthday reading. And once more, as we said at the top, your daily numbers, all right? Don't forget them. Get out there, chase your numbers, and let the universe show you it's with you on your path. That's right. And or just help you get your steps in if it's a day off for the old kickball there. In any event, you take care of yourselves, and more importantly, happy birthday. That's right. All right, take care.